From the World Center of Racing, a brand new season kicks off for the National Sim Racing League. And we kick things off right at the World Center of Racing, Daytona International Speedway, as we welcome you to live coverage of the second annual Daytona 300 for the National Sim Racing League. Good evening, friends. Marty Sicala with you. Well, it's a brand new season of NSRO action. 36 straight weeks of your favorite drivers going at it at 36 different tracks. We've got a fun season set up for you, a big field with the next gens, brand new packages, brand new races, brand new teams. It's going to be a lot of fun here tonight. Well, last week we had the duels in qualifying to set the grid for the Daytona 300. It was Robbie Bice and David Salter, the teammates, that will start on the front row. Bice and Salter based out of the Full Throttle Motorsports camp. However, though, the drivers that got the wins in the duels. Duel number one was won by Mark Sikosi on a last lap pass. Duel number two was won by David Smeal. However, though, Smeal unable to make it to the race tonight. So that'll move up the driver that finished second in the duels from last week up into position number 4 on the grid. Well, we've got a lot of stories to talk about here. First off, our story is that the defending champion of the series, not in this season. Josh Susi not entered in this race. We don't know if he's going to be doing a part-time schedule or whatnot. Not sure what the situation is on that. Last season's winner in the National Sim Racing League picked up 2 wins in the season at 2 of the biggest tracks. We'll talk with him right now as he is the quickest in final practice. That's the driver of the number 17 in Tyler Isley. Tyler Isley.
What's going on, man?
Tyler Isley, how excited are you to be back?
Pretty excited. I mean, definitely got a fast car. I just hope we stay out of trouble. Not really having the luxury of starting in the back. We're kind of right in the middle this year, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully, we got a lot of good teammates to work with, and hopefully one of us is there at the end.
It's a 120-lap race, and we learned in the World Center of Racing during the duels, it's very tough to handle these cars when they're in critical situations, like when they get loose and when we have wrecks. Is your key just to be patient no matter if it's stage racing or not?
Yeah, I mean, it's race number 1, so obviously can't get too over aggressive. You don't want to put yourself in a hole early. Just try to make it to the end. A lot of these guys are going to get over aggressive early if the previous 2 races this week are any indication, or even the duels for that matter. So we're just going to have to, like I said, play it smart, see what happens, and hopefully we can be up there at the end, like I said.
All right, man. Best of luck tonight.
Thanks, man.
Tyler Isley in the number 17. Let's talk with our pole sitter for this season's Daytona 300. If we can pull him up here, let's see if we can pull him up just in the nick of time. And I think we can. Let's pull up Robbie Bice here in the Full Throttle Motorsports machine. Robbie, it's a brand new season. You have the first pole position of the season. And let's talk about your keys coming into racing a long race of 120 laps. How long do you want to be in the front for? And if you lose the lead in the first point of the race, are you going to go to the back?
No, I'm staying up front as long as I can. If I lose it, I'm going to try to get back up there as close as possible. I don't want to be in the back with all the craziness going on back there. So I'll try to stay up front as long as possible, at least top 10, and be satisfied with that till the end at least.
Talk about racing your teammates with David Salter and Stan Mayberry. You and Salter share the front row.
Yeah, we've kind of made a plan. So kind of we did like at Talladega. Try to get nose to tail and try to stick to that plan. And no matter who's in the front, whoever gets out, pit stops, whatever, just stick to the plan and stay together and try to make it to the end. And whoever wins, wins, because it's more about team than it is individual.
Alrighty, well, we will let you go, man. Best of luck tonight.
Thank you.
That's Robbie Bice as he gets set to go. He starts from pole position. Warm-ups are now in the books here And ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of everyone at the National Sim Racing League, all their fine drivers and partners, we thank you for beginning the 2022 season with us. We've got 31 cars set to take the green flag for the World Center of Racing. 120 laps in the Great American Race for the NSRL. Let's meet the starting lineup. As we set a full throttle motorsports front row with Robbie Bice in the 28 and David Salter in the 88. Row number 2 is Mark Sikosi in the 2, your Dual 1 winner. David Smeal, the Dual 2 winner, not in the race. That moves Stan Mayberry up in the outside of row number 2. In row number 3, Kyle Milliken in the 10 and Brian Wiggins in the number 1. Row 4, Steve Stripmatter in the number 1 and Tyler Isley in the 17. Row 5, Alan Crowell in car number 9 and Briggs Swope in car 57. Row 6, Tom Pera in the 16 and Paul Pergoli driving car number 33. A look at row number 7, you'll find Don DeGroot in the 61, Ryan Chapman in the 7. Row 8 is Justin Diltz in the 19, Landon Lacey, who had a hot season last season, in the 66, looking to go full-time. Row 9, Jaden Bingaman in the 26 and Jimmy Barr in the 60. Row 10, Kyle Holden in the 77 and Zach Hinson in the 12. Row 11, Josh Aaron in the 00 and Ryan Broderick in the 5. Row number 12, that is Daniel Menzies in the 24 and Ashton Crowder, who was 100% last season. Most wins on the year in the number 42. As we go throughout the rest of the field, you'll find Brendan Poole back in the number 15, Chris Lynn in the 84, Jeremy Zarfos in the 99, David Courier in the 03, Bill Hull in the 4, Houston Stevenson in the 11, and George Wood in car number 96. Well, a lot of drivers starting in the rear of the field, of course, either due to the accidents suffered in the duels or they did not take part in the duels, and based off of how they did in time trials. Here's a look at your info tonight as we get set to take the green flag. 120 laps. The stages end on laps 30, 60, and 120 laps. Field window 40 to 45 laps, so likely if we have long runs, we'll only have just about one green flag stop. 31 degrees in the turn, seats over 100,006 tire sets. Well, folks, it's a brand new season for the National Sim Racing League Cup Series. We're glad you could join us to kick off 2022. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now, than the World Center of Racing? The Full Throttle Motorsports team on the front row. Showtime at Daytona. The high side did not get off to the start they wanted. Everyone getting to the low groove as soon as possible with Salter, Mayberry, and Rice the top 3. Brian Wiggins finds a spot to tuck back in line, currently down in the 4th position. So an FTS row 1, 2, 3 at the moment. No one taking any big risks on the high side. As off the corner, David Salter leads lap number 1 of the Daytona 300. Two packs currently at the moment as we are in this race. One going single file in a big bicycle line as we consider your Peloton pack led by David Salter. Then you got another pack back in 20th spot. That's being led by Brendan Poole, Ashton Crowder, Landon Lacey and company. These are the drivers that don't really want to go for stage points. Just take it nice and easy. But the 19 drivers ahead, all playing it nice and safe, all ran the single file line. They understand it is a long race, 120 laps of action here. Drivers don't want to be taking any big risks with their cars here because they know they've got no quick repairs. Everyone wants to win this 300-mile race. It's Daytona, the world center of racing. If you win, you're cherished forever. Tyler Isley after 2 laps, the quickest lap at the moment at a 47.04. We'll be seeing times in the 47s and likely go down to the 46, especially if you can get a huge draft. 31 drivers in the Daytona 300. In fact, it's actually one of the biggest car counts in NSRL history. Right on board with the driver of the number 1, Brian Wiggins, to see what it's like going around Daytona at 190 miles an hour. You see, very patient at the moment and will let off the throttle from time to time, just so he doesn't get into the car ahead in Robbie Bice. Not only is it to avoid bump drafting, also to save some fuel. Bites with a nice Ricky Craven throwback in the Tide machine. I told you we were going to hit 47-second times. We are now in the 46s. Justin Deltz, 46.99 for the driver in the Elevated Motorsports machine. In the Affordable SEO Racing team. So used to the team names from last season. 4-car team with Alan Crowell, Kyle Billiken, and Ryan Chapman joining him. With the Alliance on the Elevated Motorsports side. Currently the caboose of this pack, currently running in 17th position. Jimmy Barr and Josh Aaron have faded back to work with Brennan Poole and Ashton Crowder. You see 4 drivers going up to the outside line here, consisting of Poole, the NASCAR Cup Series driver, the former eNASCAR Coke driver, and Crowder, the man that was a big dominator last season, Landon Lacey, and a returning driver in Ryan Broderick, who nearly won at Iowa last year. Most of the action being done here in this pack. Ryan Broderick just set the best lap a moment ago at a 46.84. Now belongs to Crowder with a 46.76. Crowder with a 100% win ratio last year. Decided, I want to get back to racing. Why not? He did everything pretty much in the National Sim Racing League last season. He was a driver, co-commentator, owner, race control director, a lot of things. That second pit was starting to now see 3 packs here because some of the drivers are starting to go double file racing. You see Kyle Holden driving the 77 up there with Justin Deltz trying to make a pass on Zach Hinson in car number 12. And that has led to them falling back into the wrath of Brennan Poole and Ashton Crowder. So the top 13 drivers in this pack, top 11, and look at this. They got so much of a head of steam, they decided to form up with Crowder and Poole. And just look at the run they were getting in turn 3 and 4. That is Hinson up on the outside. Excuse me, that's Kyle Holden up on the outside, trying to get past Ryan Chapman and Alan Crowell. Pass works. That's on board with the 77. As you see that car continue to go to work. Double file racing. It's led to a 10-car breakaway amongst the field. They are 2.5 seconds behind the top 10 that you just saw on your screen. Top 10 all going single file at the moment, while this racing is for 11. Not even for stage points early here. Those 2 drivers leading this pack on the inside and outside, making their NSRL debuts this season. Holden in the black 77 Dodge, along with Hinson, the top line in the blue Dodge. Our teammates out of the Elevated Motorsports camp, as they're trying to slow down the Charge Racing drivers. The Charge Racing / Posse Racing drivers. What's it like to be in this pack? Well, we're right on board here with Ashton Crowder, and we'll give you a gyro perspective of it. show you the 31 degrees of banking. And you can see as well the gap the top 10 have put up because of the fact that they're just working together, being patient, staying single file. So speaking of your top 10, there you see them continue to be in Salter, Mayberry, and Weiss, followed by Wiggins, Sikosi, Milliken, Isley, Brigoli, Swope, and Stritman. Go back to that pack, which is turned down. And in fact, actually, a driver is falling back. That's Hinson, who nearly scrapes the wall off of turn number 2. It's led to the inside line, getting formed up a lot better, led by Holden in the 77. But that high side continues to come once again with Poole, Crowder, Lacey, and there's another car up there as well, trying to see who that is. I think that is that Jimmy Barr in the 60, or is that Hinson back up there? Nope, it's Jaden Bingaman in the 26. A lot of new faces in this series we'll talk about throughout the night tonight. Of course, rookies coming in, including Paul Pergoli, Kyle Holden, Ryan Chapman. Who else? Zach Hinson, Jaden Bingaman, Houston Stevenson, David Courier, George Wood, and Bill Hull. Now you see the high side starting to form. The low line had to check up. Poole and Crowder get a huge head of steam. In fact, Poole and Crowder, by the way, the biggest movers so far in this race. They are up 14 and 12 spots, respectively. Other big movers from the drop of the green flag. Houston Stevenson up 6 spots from 30th to 24th. Also Josh Aaron, who's also up 6 spots, this time from 21st to 15th. And then up 4 spots, Jimmy Barr, Kyle Holden, and Jeremy Zarfos each. So for the guys like Poole and Crowder and Lacey, oh, we got one on the double yellow line, trying to see who that was. And that was Jimmy Barr in the number 60 with a close call. One of the drivers for the Posse Racing crew nearly lost it, which could have triggered a huge stack up. Now let's see what these drivers can do in the train. In Poole and Crowder, we know they're very fast on the track. Same with Landon Lacey and Jimmy Barr. Let's see if they can form a train that can allow them to come closer. Now keep in mind as well, the bigger train you have, the better chance you'll have to close in on drivers. Right now, they are 4.6 seconds back on the leader in David Salter. Last time by, they were 1/10 of a second slower than the race leader. Of course, again, that is a 10-car train we've been looking at. This, at the moment, appears to be about an 8-car train, or maybe even a 13-car train if Tom Perra in the number 81 can get formed up there with Alan Crowell properly. This is how it looks amongst the leaders. The top 10, all single file, nose to tail at the moment, just being patient. Couple of drivers running best laps that time by. The drivers from 4th through 10th, as well as the drivers from 15th through 19th. The guys in 11th and 14th, and Poole, Crowder, Lacey, and Barr were not able to get things going. Holden in the 77 got a nice tow off of Jimmy Barr. "14 laps are complete here at the World Center of Racing. David Salter currently leads Stan Mayberry, Robbie Bice, Brian Wiggins, and Mark Sikosi. We'll step aside for the first time tonight. We go side by side here at Daytona. Welcome back to Daytona here as we have completed 17 laps at the moment as David Salter continues to lead. At the moment, no changes amongst the top 10 last time we saw you. We talked about before we went to break how the drivers in the second pack are starting to have a better train to form that's led by Brennan Poole. They have started to close the gap. Last time by, they went 46.82s, while the leaders went 47.3s on average. So they're continuing to close their way into the lead pack. Let's compare the laps for Brennan Poole here when he comes across the line. Here's how quicker he's been, just about 3 to 4 tenths quicker than the lead pack. Gap is down to 1.5 seconds. This time oh my goodness, 6.5 tenths. Gonna catch that first pack, and I would not be surprised if they're able to catch this lead pack in about 3 laps and go to the outside line. See what happens. So we're coming to 11 laps to go in the stage, and it just makes you think of a couple of things. Do drivers decide to pit before 2 laps to go? If they come into pit with 3 laps to go, will anybody decide to do that is the question, and then come back out and cycle through to the lead? Well, right now, the window is open to get you to stage number 2, which ends at lap 60, because the fuel window just about 40 to 45 laps or so. I'm thinking right now, especially if you're the second pack, keep on going. The top 10, of course, is not going to come in before the end of stage number 1. If you're a guy that doesn't think they have what it takes to get up to the top 10 or earn stage points by the end, come on in to pit, and then you could cycle through to the race lead. Again, that's when you're coming to 3 laps to go. Don't do it coming to 2 laps to go, because right when we get to 2 laps to go is when pit road will be closed for the rest of the stage. Currently 1.3 seconds back of Steve Strickmatter. Last time by, they were all running just about even laps to the top 10. You'll see how they are doing in terms of the times on their screen, how close they are. On board with Brennan Poole as he gets a push from Ashton Crowder. Bump drafting pretty good on the straightaways, but this is a track where it is absolutely a no-no in the corners. Your car will absolutely get loose, and chances are you will get turned around. There are, by the way, a couple of drivers that have decided, you know what, we're going to just ride it out, take it nice and easy. Don DeGroot, Chris Lynn, Josh Aaron, Houston Stevenson, Jeremy Zarfos, and Ryan Broderick in 22nd and 27th. Just playing it nice and safe, nice and even right now. They're in the 48-second lap range. Again, just playing it nice and easy. Just hope their car doesn't go a lap down. They're 16 seconds behind the race leader. So good chances are they will not go 1 lap down. Daniel Menzies has lost the draft. David Courier, Bill Hull, and George Holt Wood, who are 30 seconds back, they could be going a lap down by the time the stage ends. We'll have to see if they possibly have to race for the free pass. And take a look at this. That second pack is coming. 46.8s for that second pack. Leaders were in the 46.2s. Here we go, just like we predicted. Oh man, fakes out. Thought for a moment a wreck was going to happen. Now it goes. Brennan Poole up to the outside. Big head of steam. Let's see if Crowder can get back up there and give Brennan Poole a nice push off of turn 4, because he's fading back to Swope in the 57. Here they come. That second pack has said, allow us to introduce ourselves. Brennan Poole, Ashton Crowder have returned from the dead. And now they're starting to some other drivers have taken notes of this. Come to the outside. Tyler Isley, one of them, but Brennan Poole decides, I'm not wasting no time. Oh, we got smoke. Drivers going double file. I thought we saw somebody get loose, but we've got a battle for the lead breaking out. Brian Wiggins wants to go to the outside. It was Robbie Bice, by the way, that spun from third position. But the battle for the lead is on here. Brian Wiggins to the outside. Our second lead change of the Daytona 300 belongs to the one of Brian Wiggins. Car numbers 1 and 2 are 1 and 2. Brennan Poole has ditched Ashton Crowder. He's up in 4th spot. He's like the Intimidator at Talladega, trying to go from 11th to 1st this time instead of 17th to 1st. But there you see the 42 of Crowder right there off of turn 2 in the target car. Tyler Isley has separated him. The low side starting to get their head of steam. You've got Kyle Milliken up there in 3rd position, but Poole's got a nice bump draft from the 17 of Isley. I'll see if Brennan Poole can get up to 3rd position. What was a 10-car pack has turned into a different version of a 10-car pack. Briggs Swope in the 57, 3 seconds back, and the drivers will likely not have anything. If I am Briggs Swope on back, I'm pitting. If I'm the second pack from Briggs Swope to Tom Pera, I am pitting next lap. They won't go a lap down, that's for sure. But they will be able to cycle through to the race lead. These drivers, meanwhile, are racing for stage points. Mark Sikosi, a nice bump trap. Now remember where Sikosi was on the last lap of the duels. He was in 2nd, and Slingshot his good friend behind him this time, and Kyle Milliken for the race win. Let's see if he does it for the stage 1 win this time. You see Poole and Isley still working up on the high side, but they've got no help. Everyone is cycled back down to the bottom, and Poole finds a gap just in front of Paul Brigoli. Isley's fallen to the back of this single car line. Crowder, though, lets Isley in, and we'll see if anyone of this pack decides to make the first move. See what perhaps happens. Now you got drivers starting to go up to the outside. And here we go, pit stops. 2 guys come in, Briggs Swope and Steve Stripmatter, with 3 laps to go. Surprisingly, these are the only 2 to come in. I'm surprised more decided not to. The guy comes in Robbie Bice. But now, oh, look out, Tyler Isley goes around. Dewey says he's saving. Hard into the outside wall. The defending Daytona 300 champion is likely out of the race. No caution, he spun into the runoff, will stay green. But now this moves Landon Lacey up into 10th position. So this second pack right here, battling for a win. Now Jimmy Bart is out of the groove all by himself because of being involved. And that puts Jaden Bingaman up to 10th. And now the pits are closed for the rest of the stage. Top 10 all still working together on the bottom side of this racetrack. Now drivers are starting to make their way up. Justin Deltz tries to get by Jaden Bingaman for stage points. Has help from Ryan Chapman. It's 5v2 in this second pack. Let's go back to the lead pack though. Drivers starting to get up to the top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. David Salter's up there. Poole falls out. They're working on lap traffic though. This could get dicey. That's Briggs Swope, one of the drivers that pitted. He took a risk. Doesn't pay out because nobody else came in. Final lap on stage 1 is underway. Lone guy on the outside, David Salter. And I think Poole and Crowder are going to be fine where they are right now. They keep him back. Briggs Swope looking for the free pass here. Nobody had a Brian Wiggins, so as long as he doesn't wreck, he's the free pass. Good racing for 8th on back, for 7th on back, I should say. 9th and 10th, meanwhile, Justin Delton and Ryan Chapman have taken those spots away from Landon Lacey. But the race focuses up front off of turn 4. Brennan Poole looks to the outside. The stage 1 win goes to Brian Wiggins. He gets the first playoff point of 2022. And at the line for 9th and 10th for Dilton Chapman. So the first yellow flies, and Brian Wiggins will take the first stage. We're going to look at a couple of things here. We'll stay with you. We got to watch first off what happened to Robbie Bice. He was in 3rd position at the time. And I think this will tell us the tale right here. Oh, wow. Simply lost it. Let's see if we can get another good angle here for you on that. Yep, just all by himself. Nice save to keep it straight. That car could have been headed into the inside wall. Next up with Tyler Isley. Not the best. That's on the aftermath. Here's a nice angle for you here. He just got loose. It's like his air got cut off from the 42 of Crowder, and around he goes. He did. I gotta give him credit. Didn't get that inside Safert barrier where it just cuts off. Here's the aerial shot for Tyler. Nowhere to go is Jimmy Barr, and we'll have to take some optional. Look how close he is. That close, so a good job by him there. Here's what it looked like from Tyler's onboard. Yeah, you know what I think he was trying to do? I think he was just trying to give Crowder the hole and just possibly got too much on the brakes and now sees his chances at defending his Daytona 300 possibly going away. So pit road is open and everybody's coming on in. Briggs Swope will receive the free pass, so he'll get back on the lead lap. Alan Crowder overshot his pit box and getting on out in front. This is going to be a good stop for Paul Pergoli in the number 33. Wow. Despite some guys getting out quicker, Pergoli edges out Milliken with a 14.9 second stop. Milliken with a 41.65 on pit road comes out second. See how your top 10 did on your screen. Actually, we will not have that for you. I have some technical difficulties on that side of things. 14.90, 14.68 though for Brian Broderick is the quickest pit stop of everyone. 41.65 for Milliken is the best on pit road overall. So as we come back to the green flag, Paul Pergoli will restart as the race leader here at Daytona. Stage 2 in just a moment.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. butt kicker. The future is feeling.
We are back and right on time to begin stage number 2. All after a great pit stop brings the field back to green. All scattered 2 by 2. Let's see if everyone gets to the low side as soon as possible. Just like we saw in the beginning of stage 1. Oh, look at this. Milliken, Wiggins, and Sikosi just say bye-bye to the lonely driver in the Bergoli Esports camp. And to the lead of the race goes Kyle Milliken for the first time today. But here comes Brennan Poole with the number 15. Big help from the 42 of Ashton Crowder. They're 2 by 2 off at turn number 4. Can the NASCAR Cup Series driver go to the point for the first time today? It's our 3rd lead change, though, of this race. It's going to be 4th lead change as Kyle Milliken led at the start-finish line. But now Brennan Poole goes to the front. Awesome race in here. Poole getting a nice push from Ashton Crowder, rocking it down the back straightaway. How about Landon Lacey up there as well in that 66, right in 3rd spot. That low line starting to lose a little bit of steam. The high side, when we come to super speedways, sometimes the place you want to be. Big push from Ashton Crowder. 5th lead change of the evening. Brennan Poole back out front. Jimmy Garden 60 coming in to repair some additional damage after what happened earlier on in the race. High side starting to fade back a little. That's Ryan Broderick along with Houston Stevenson. So now it seems like drivers will start to be a little bit patient here. Poole and Crowder wanted to get up to that lead as soon as possible, and now they're up front. Milliken having a tough time. He got shuffled out to dry, just trying to find a gap between Sikosi and Wiggins. Let's get a nice push from Broderick. We'll see if Milliken wants to fight for it himself, perhaps. 37 laps complete in this race. Driver that has led the most laps so far in this direction at the moment is David Salter. Milliken, who finished 3rd in the duels last week in a 3-wide finish with him, Wiggins and Sikosi. 2nd at Talladega the last time their points race was on a super speedway. Now falls back to 10th. 3 spots behind his teammate in Mark Sikosi. is out of the affordable SEO camp with their alliance. 20 cars are currently single file here at Daytona. You've got Brennan Poole leading this pack, and in the caboose is Josh Aaron in the number 20. There you see what it looks like from Aaron's perspective. Formerly in the DraftKings clan, Josh Aaron now driving for the Posse Racing, which is a huge team, a 9-car team this season. So Brendan Poole, NASCAR Cup Series driver, and should have been Talladega winner in the Xfinity Series in 2016. Led by the guy in the 42, the same number that, a number that Poole drove in 2015 in Cup. Ashton Crowder, again, had a 100% win ratio last season. If I recall correctly, it was like 7 for 7. Or something like that. Right here, yeah. 7 for 7 for Crowder last year. Very cool last season in 6 races, actually a surprise, with no wins for Brendan. Only 4 top 5s and 5 top 10s. Wasn't the only real NASCAR driver to race in the NSRL. Ty Gibbs did a one-off race at Milwaukee. Ty Gibbs was leading in the race. He did not finish. A couple of drivers are trying to work that outside. In fact, it's the final 3 drivers in that pack. As you see him, that is Justin Diltz, followed by Ryan Chapman and Josh Aaron. Remember, Diltz and Chapman were worked together to finish 9th and 10th at the end of stage 1. Let's go to the second pack that's being led by Brake Swope, who recently received the free pass. Those drivers currently 6 seconds behind the race leader. They have some sort of double file situation that they're in right now. Strip matter in the BP51. Some side-by-side racing earlier, but they've gotten it back down to single file. For those wondering how Tyler Isley is doing after his wreck earlier on, he's still on the lead lap after his spin, but currently 24 seconds behind. Show you the top speed he's going, only 175 miles an hour. That is without the draft. I don't see any damage to the spoiler. Let's take a look at the right side if we can briefly see it. You can see how scuffed it is for the defending Daytona 300 champion. How patient are the drivers going to be? Let's ride on board here with Mark Sikosi. He's not worried about the gap behind Wiggins at the moment. He knows they'll catch up to him. Landon Lacey in the 66, currently running in 3rd position. Get to talk about him a lot in this race. 50% win rate. Oh, hang on a second. We got a big scuffle in the back. Ryan Broderick in a close call saves it, keeps the car from going into pit road. We'll have to rewind the footage and see what happened there. Get this from the aerial shot. Thank goodness for iRacing. I think, did Don DeGroot catch the wall in turn 4? Nope, it was Crowd that catches the wall. Broderick went down to scatter to prevent a wreck from happening. Loses a spot there, but I'm sure Broderick says it's fine. As All he just did was avoid a wreck there. So halfway through stage number 2 at the start-finish line. Brennan Poole currently leading the field at the moment after the 5th lead change in this race over Ashton Crowder, Landon Lacey, David Salter, Jaden Bingaman. Stay with us. Back here at the Daytona International Speedway as we got some racing happening for 4th spot as Paul Pregoli advances on David Salter for that position. We'll see what happens now if we perhaps get a 3-car breakaway between Poole, Crowder, and Lacey. Some exciting racing. Paul Pregoli in his debut restarted in the lead in stage number 2 as they work on lap traffic. A little bit tight in turn 2 with Tyler Isley. He couldn't get below the double yellow line to let the leaders go by, and there was nearly a collision right now. But Paul Pregoli right now off to a fantastic day. He started 12th, currently running in the 4th position. A lot of drivers decide, let's take a risk. Let's go up to the outside, see what we can do on the top 3. David Salter, the first driver, up on the outside. Behind him is Jaden Bingaman, followed by Brian Wiggins and Mark Sikosi, Kyle Milliken. Those good friends amongst each other. Sikosi, by the way, remember, final driver inside the top 10 for stage points. What was originally a 20-car pack has turned into a 13-car pack. That's Zach Hinson in the caboose of this train. A second pack has developed with David Courier leading that pack. Courier, who did not get off to a great start, currently running in 14th, but he is all by himself for right now. Justin Diltz leading what I guess you could say a second pack, with Chapman, DeGroot, and Crowell, who were originally in the lead pack, after Brennan Poole took the lead with some double file racing. 26th spot driver Daniel Menzies with a close call, stopped only one pit road. That is in a pack that's being led by Briggs Swope that he was leading earlier. Still on the lead lap. Oh, problems with somebody. That's the 26 of Jaden Bingaman. Listening to the car, doesn't hear. Down to 4th gear. That's interesting. I don't know what happened with the car unless he wants to pick up a teammate on the Posse Racing camp, but I don't honestly understand that side of things. Because Crowder's up there. Trying to see who else is up there. That baffles me. Let's rewind and see if something happened to Jaden, like he lost his shift or something, or if he had a problem. Let's watch from the blimp. Looks like a voluntary effort to go below the double yellow line and just let these guys go by. Yep. Unless what Bingaman is trying to do here is he has now gotten wrathed into the second pack. Unless he's trying to pit, coming to 3 laps to go in the stage and try and cycle through as the race leader. I won't be and now he lets the second pack go by. I'm not sure what this strategy holds to Jaden Bingaman, but he just went from the lead pack all the way to 7.5 seconds behind. Now he drops down to the second pack. Got David Courier in front of him. Got Justin Dilch with him up in there as well, who was leading that second pack. 7 laps to go in this stage. We're starting to see the intensity pick up. That is Holden in the 77, I believe. Nope, pardon me, that is. Just trying to see who that car is that's up there with. Is that Holden up there? Milliken. And we got some bump drafting happening. Stacks up the inside line between Wiggins and Stan Mayberry. On the move is Houston Stevenson in car number 11. Up to 4th position. The low line stacked up with the exception of the top 3. And let's see if Stevenson can get a run. Currently the biggest mover in this race from 30th up to 5th position. Excuse me, 12 drivers once again are in this pack, battling for stage points amongst the top 10. Let's see what Kyle Milliken can do as he ride on board. Bump draft is coming right here. Got to line it up in the middle. Perfect bump draft, and he's able to catch up to Landon Lacey. Side by side for 3rd and 3. That was a perfect bump draft, and now we'll see if Milliken can do it once again and give Houston a burst of speed. Got a little loose off of turn 4. Don't know if he'll be able to do it here because they're in the tri-oval. Got to turn a little bit to the left. If he gets right up there, he could give him a big burst. He's past Lacey for 3rd. Could be the 6th lead change in this race if it can work down the super stretch. But we'll see if Poole or Crowder decide to pull a little bit of a block. They're side drafting, that's for sure. Watch Milliken. Can he get the bump draft to work? Ooh, I don't think he can. They're 3/4 of a way down. There's just a little bit of a push. Lifted the rear tires off the ground from the looks of it as Lacey gets by for 3rd. Top 3 still single file is now Stevenson and Brigoli side by side for 4th spot. 4 to go in stage 2. Pits are closed at lap 59. Wow. What an entry for Stevenson, up to 2nd spot. If Milliken can get up to the rear bumper, he could get the lead from Brennan Poole. But Ashton Crowder knows he's gotten the memo. It's time to bump draft. Gets one for Landon Lacey as well. This could be a wild end for stage 2 for sure. You see Crowder and Poole move up a half a groove to cut the air off. Oh, look how Wiggins is loose off of turn 4. Can he save it? He can. Woo, that got close. And that'll likely put him outside the top 10 and think what he was planning on doing. Some guys I think were thinking about pitting, but then they faked out. Not what Sikosi or Wiggins want because they won't be able to pit and get stage points. Nobody, as of right now, for what we know, decides to pit. But this is for the lead. Stevenson up to Poole off of 2. Can the rookie go to the point at Daytona? Nice bump draft from the 10. Cuts it down low along with Milliken. Nice move for the driver of the 11. But now they stack up amongst the high side. Here comes Kyle Holden in the 77. Rookies battling for the lead at the moment with the exception of Milliken. And when Houston Stevenson thought he's going to the lead, nah. Kyle Holden up into the front. 6th lead change of the evening at Daytona. 2 to go in stage 2. The pits are closed. Holden and Hinson working on the outside. And now let's see if Poole and Crowder have regained their craft. They're both working on the outside this time. 2 by 2 down the super stretch. High start's time to lose it a little bit as Milliken gives a nice bump draft to Stevenson. But now the low line's starting to lose a little bit. You can see Bergoli could not get up to the 10 and not close in really well. And the same for Stan Mayberry. But Houston Stevenson making it work off of turn number 4. Hinson up to 2nd for right now. Holden continues to lead. Final lap of stage 2 is underway. And this is your top 10, by the way. For the rest of the stage, they will get stage points unless a wreck breaks out. We'll see how risky the drivers are down the super stretch. There is traffic ahead, but I don't think the leaders will catch it. Nice bump draft from Hinson, cuts down in front of Stevenson. Oh, contact! There they go! Puo, Stevenson around. Big one breaks out. Watch out for the second pack. Let's see if that second pack misses it. That's Mark Sikosi. They jam on the brakes and will miss it. Now who's going to get stage points in all of this? It's a crab walk to the end. And at the end of the stage, the top 2 get through Clean and Holden and Hinson. Milliken is 3rd, Lacey 4th, Salter 5th, Sikosi 6th, Wiggins and Bergoli 7th, 8th, Justin Delt and Ryan Chapman back in 9th and 10th. So the first crash takes place at the end of stage number 2. That's a tough break because they were all going for stage points, but they just got a little too aggressive. They wanted 1 point higher. And there are going to be a lot of angry drivers after that for sure. Here's what happened. Oh, Stevenson came up trying to side draft. That's a classic rookie mistake, and you know Brennan Poole's not going to be happy about that for sure. Let's watch a drone shot in slow motion. This will just give us a much better shot, but you could clearly see, or unless Stevenson was trying to thread the needle, but that was clearly a bad move. All the drivers behind would know where to go. I think, though, Landon Lacey gets through that clean. You saw him jam on. Yes, he was 3rd or 4th at the end of the stage. He was 4th at the end of the stage, and I think he's able to just miss it. And he is. I think the same goes for the car in front, which was Salter, who just nipped his way by. Let's see if we have a nice speed shot for you here. Rip Digger. Here is the onboard with Brennan. And there's that tap. Just completely unexpected. Ashton Crowder. I think these are the only onboards we have. So stage 2 ends with the first yellow for a crash in the Daytona 300. And it is, of course, the big one that breaks out. When we come back to green, it will be Zach Hinson that leads, but the first yellow for a crash out here at Daytona to end stage 2.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Ready to come back to green to begin stage number 3. Zach Hinson, Kyle Holden, the front row. Landon Lacey, Brian Wiggins, Mark Sikosi round out the top 5. We're back to green, halfway home in the Daytona 300. It's been a phenomenal race here so far at the World Center of Racing. How will the second half play? Tough to tell who gets the advantage on this restart, but Brian Wiggins looking to get back to the race lead. Holden and Wiggins still in it. Hinson, meanwhile, fell back to 3rd spot on the restart. Still 2x2 for right now. Wiggins doesn't have as much help as the 77 of Holden does. But Wiggins gets a nice push now and coming to the stripe. It's Holden to the race lead. 8th lead change of this evening. While we're at it, turn up your surround sound. It's time to crank it up from Daytona.
Clear.
Just some incredible cameras iRacing gives us here at the Daytona International. Just absolutely chilling here. 66 laps are complete here at Daytona as we are back to green flag racing here. Now, if this race goes green to the end, and it's something personally I don't really expect, we expect drivers to come in with
not fast up there, man.
with just under 20 laps to go. Brian Wiggins currently the race leader, Ryan Chapman second, but a driver working the outside, and that's a car with damage. David Courier in the 03. Is that even damage, or is it just the paint scheme? I'm trying to find it. My goodness, that's an April Fool's car. That's a paint scheme that looks like it's got damage on it. Highest Courier has been in this race in 4th position, but now falls all the way back into 7th position. Landon Lacey, who missed the wreck, now without his buddies for right now in Brennan Poole and Ashton Crowder. I can tell you a couple of drivers are out of the race after that wreck. Ashton Crowder is out of the race. Brennan Poole is out. Paul Pergoli out of the race. Only those 3 drivers have retired from the Daytona 300. 26 drivers, though, currently on the lead lap. Jimmy Barr is the first driver that is currently 2 laps down, though. I believe, yes, 2 laps down at the moment. First guy on the outside, the DeWalt 61 of Don DeGroot, who nearly won his first NSRL race last season. A 1-2 finish, losing out to Steve Stripmatter. Of course, those guys out of the Up in Smoke Garage pack, but a battle for the lead is on. Ryan Chapman, the rookie, to the inside with help from Justin Diltz. They've worked together all night long, and he gets the 9th lead change of this race. First lap led in the 300 for Ryan Chapman. The teammates out of the Affordable SEO Racing Camp have decided to work together in this race. They got 9th and 10th in both of the first 2 stages, and now for the first time today, they're 1 and 2 in the 300. And because the drivers are side by side for 5th, Zach Hinson and Brian Wiggins, it's a 4-car breakaway for right now. They're not really up into formation that well. That's the big issue. Now I think they get formed up pretty well. Brian Wiggins tries to find a hole in front of DeGroot, just gets there barely in 8th position. Ryan Broderick, only guy up on the high sides for the 2nd time tonight from what we know of for our broadcast angles. Shuffled out to dry. I'd like to welcome you all if you have just joined us to live coverage of the Daytona 300. It's the first race for the National Sim Racing League. Marty Cicala with you on the call. We are so glad you could join us throughout the family of networks on the National Sim Racing League Facebook page, twitch.tv/Marty Cicala, and the National Sim Racing League YouTube chatter. A big shout to Puddin' Knievel, rooting on Tyler Isley, Camden Jester also rooting for Isley, in addition to Daniel Menzies and the Posse Racing Camp. That's Houston Stevenson that goes another lap down, now 3 laps down after being involved in the yellow. That brought out the caution to end stage number 2. Now for the rest of stage number 3, a lot of time, under 50 laps to go. This is a race of what is now patience. Some drivers could be taking it easy. This is what is a 23-car freight train. You've got Ryan Chapman in this line at the head of this, and then just about 4 seconds back, still in this freight train, is the number 96 of George Wood. You got Chris Lynn, who we've yet to talk about in this race, with no damage, taking it nice and easy. Oh, Josh Aaron, hang on a second. Thought he was off the pace there. Chris Lynn along with Jaden Bingaman, who I think is just having issues with his race car for right now. But now you've got a breakaway happen. 8-car breakaway. Don DeGroot, Steve Stripmatter, side by side for 9th. Losing a lot more time now at the moment. Ryan Broderick also there. Kenny. Oh, man, just tucked in front of Don DeGroot. Man, he's been a victim in all of that. St. Catharines, Ontario native, home of the Bicknell Racing Products headquarters. They lost about 2 seconds that last lap. They were 48-18 to Ryan Chapman's 47-15. So 1 second they lost. So that's a 10-car break with these guys only 5, so they'll lose a lot more time. Justin Diltz currently in 2nd spot, yet to lead this race. Zach Hinson, who's been quiet, one of the few rookies that is in the field. Nearly took home stage number 2. That belonged to Kyle Holden. We talked about the drivers out of the Elevated Motorsports camp with Mark Sikosa, Brian Wiggins, and Kyle Milliken, who's driving for us, 7th, 8th, and with Milliken currently back in 21st in this big pack that's being led by Robbie Bice, the pole sitter of this race. Of course, you've got Ryan Chapman leading, Justin Diltz second, Kyle Holden third, and Lacey's the first non-affordable elevated car, currently in 4th position. 75 laps are complete in the Daytona 300. It's Ryan Chapman, followed by Justin Diltz, Kyle Holden, Landon Lacey, and Zach Hinson. We'll pause here and go side by side. If trouble breaks out, we'll break in. Stay with us. "77 laps complete here in the Daytona 300. It's been an incredible race so far. Ryan Chapman continues to lead at the moment. It's been a fun night so far, and I'm sure if you've loved the action, make sure you hit subscribe on YouTube, follow on Twitch, subscribe, and like as well. Next week for the National Sim Racing League Cup Series, we've got a fun race, and guess what? We're going back to the roots. It's not a throwback night, but round 2 is the place we love, and it is the Rockingham Speedway in North Carolina, the Randy Lynn 200, 197 laps. Don't miss out on that right here on the National Sim Racing League family of networks. Want to give a shout out to our air traffic control director, the first female air traffic control director in NSRO history. She's raced with us before in this series, picked up a win last year at the Auto Club Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, give a round of applause for Kayla McCarthy. Doing a great job in air traffic control tonight, but letting the drivers race it amongst themselves. I don't think we've had very few penalties in this race tonight, and a very clean race. If you've just joined us, by the way, for coverage, as we're near 40 laps to go here in the Great American Race. Caution-free stage number 1. A lot of fun in that stage belonging to Brian Wiggins. Stage 2, we did have a caution just before the green and white checkered flag for a big one involving Brennan Poole, Houston Stevenson, Ashton Crowder, Paul Brigoli, among others. About an 8-car jam session in that one. The pit window, by the way, is open where drivers can make their final stops and make it scot-free to the finish line. But no surprise for the drivers, they will be coming in probably around lap 100 or so. There you see how the stints have gone. 32, 29, and right now 19. However, though, they've yet to make a stop under the green flag. The window just about 40 to 45 laps, and we're just about 20 laps away from that. Drivers will want to work with their, will want a friend coming on in. If you pit alone, you're going to lose this race, that's for sure. Drivers being patient right now with the top 9 single file. You've got the first guy on the outside is Brian Wiggins, the stage 1 winner. Fades the back here with his teammate in Mark Sikosi. Alan Crowell is up in this pack as well. We've yet to talk about him in this race in car number 9. He didn't win last season, but did win in the duels at Daytona to put him on pole for last year's Daytona 300. And this is a nice run for the driver of the number 9. Up in third speed. Oh, trouble. Jaden Bingaman goes around and collects Alan Crowell in the process. Crowell up on his lid, side over side. Wiggins is also involved. Third yellow of this race is out, and this changes everything. I think every driver here can make it to the end on fuel. That's a tough break there. Lap car involved in this. Jaden Bingaman, been a tough night for him ever since stage number 2. There's Bingaman. Now he's got damage. What was a fake, now it's real. And then there's Brian Wiggins involved. Third yellow of this race. Second one for a crash. We'll get you the replay here to show you what brought the yellow flag out. Watch from the aerial shot. We'll put this in slow motion and see what happened to Bingaman. Oh, the car, he just completely lost it. That's completely strange. That's Chris Lind. That was the another car involved. Mark Sikosi just missing his teammate. And then look at Crowell. About 2 flips he does in turn number 4. It's like the same spot where the big one broke out with Brennan Poole, Ashton Crowder. There you see all the drivers miss it. Let's see if we have an onboard with Sikosi. And we do. Watch this miss. Wow! Wow! Cold brown moment for Mark. And he is still in this race. The driver with 2 wins last season. I told you the window was open for fuel. Everybody is in, and Kyle Holden is in the lead with the 10th lead change of the Daytona 300. The lead right now, if I'm counting correct, is the most we've had. Now, that drivers are good to go to the end just barely. There's only one question that's in the minds of these drivers. What about overtime? If one more yellow comes out, I would not be surprised if drivers came in just to top off on fuel. That's the situation there. So while we're at it, we'll take a pause once again and step aside, and we'll be back for the restart. Stay with us.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Set to come back under the green flag. We have completed 85 laps. When we get back to racing, we'll have 35 laps to go at the World Center of Racing. Kyle Holden, Don DeGroot, row number 1. Zach Hinson, Steve Strittmatter, row 2. Justin Diltz, Ryan Broderick, row 3. Chapman, Lacey, Swope, Milliken, your top 10. Back to racing at Daytona. Holden got a great jump, but look at the gap he's got on Zach Hinson. He is too far ahead, and it's about to be washed up by the time the drivers get to turn number 2. Look at the pole Hinson gets off of Holden. Slingshot, outside, a push from DeGroot. Here comes Hinson to the race lead. Oh boy, Holden got loose off of turn number 2. See if he can merge back up. But that man is going to fall outside of the top 10, and I mean fall out big time. He's down on the apron in turn 3. Oh, no! That is not what you want at all. All the way back to the tail end of the lead lap. He's got an issue. I don't think his car can't get up to 5th gear. He's coming down to pit road, and you know what? I think he got called for either speeding or jumping a restart. And a new leader for the first time today, Don DeGroot, has taken the 61 to the point. With a run down the super stretch. Justin Diltz pushing the 12. And Diltz, this time he's got help from Zach Chapman. Rolls reversed at the moment. See if Hinson can remain in the race lead. Or will DeGroot get it off at turn number 4? Nice run he's got from Steve Strittmatter, who we've yet to see at the point. Don DeGroot takes the lead the first time he has led today. Most lead changes thus far in Daytona 300 history. An incredible racing with 20 drivers in this pack at the moment. This is incredible to see, folks. But now we are seeing drivers side drafting. Is it a little bit too early to be doing that is the real question. Because there is a lot of racing left to go. High side getting a nice push from Strittmatter. How about that BP51? Highest he's been in so far in this race, currently in 7th spot, currently in 2nd spot. He has been very patient throughout the day. Look who else is up here. The 28 of Robbie Bice. He's also been a patient boy. Remember when we talked with him, his game plan was stay up at the front as much as he could and race up there. Then he fell to the back with David Salter. And now he's up in 9th. So a lot of drivers up there at what could be the right place at the right time. Ryan Wiggins back up there in this pack as well with the number 1 machine, despite some slight rear end damage just above the diffuser. Don DeGroot and Steve Strittmatter, the teammates, able to cut down the Easy and Go team. Now 1 and 2. Top 4 currently single file and say top 5. Ryan Broderick leading the outside line with a push from Landon Lacey, who's been able to recover. Oh my! Broderick's rear wheels got lifted up. I thought for a moment that Broderick was going around. That was too close for comfort there, folks. Chapman and Diltz, meanwhile, have switched up to the high side, challenging on Strittmatter for 2nd. 30 laps to go. What a push by the teammates. Justin Diltz to the lead, and I believe that's the first time he's gone to the point. Now let's see, because we saw some drivers try and get the work the low line out by themselves to see if they can stay down there. Ryan Broderick and Landon Lacey wasting no time. They want to get to the point. Broderick's got a big run on Justin Diltz. Couldn't block it at all. Ryan Broderick to the point for the first time today. Shuts the door on Justin Diltz, but he comes back up top to work with Landon Lacey. That's a little risky. He's trying to block 2 lanes at once. Coming to 29 to go. But look at the run for the 60 like that. Oh, there they go. Lacey goes around. The leaders all involved. The big one, part 2 at Daytona. I think you could see that coming, folks. And a car on its lid. Yikes almighty, folks. A lot of drivers involved in this one, and their days will end. Justin Diltz and Ryan Chapman all involved in that one, the teammates who had a great race going. Kyle Milliken, Bill Hull, I think, Ryan Broderick, of course, Robbie Bice. At least 10 cars involved in this. Well, the drone cam's going to tell you all of what happened. That was not good racing at all, that's for sure. Diltz with a hook to Broderick. Just didn't get the bump draft to work perfectly. Oh my goodness, Don DeGroot just sneaks through. How many drivers are going to be left in this race is the real question. Because you've got no quick repairs at all. That is a junkyard at the start-finish line at the World Center of Racing, folks. Trying to find Lacey here to give you a nice shot of this as well. The aggressive level was just getting picked up big time. Watch this shot. Look at DeGroot just miss it. The second place car also to miss it too. I think, you know, when Broderick was just changing lanes all of a sudden, I think you could just see that coming. Let's watch a couple of onboards here. Here's Justin Diltz. Here's the hook. And then Chapman just got into his quarter panel. I mean, he doesn't get away with too much damage, luckily. Probably just some rear end damage. Here's what Chapman saw. Was just about to miss it. I think he keeps the car straight, luckily. We have him scored as the leader right now. Kyle Milliken. Goes to the grass to miss it. And gets through unscathed. The best one in all of this. Watch this, folks. Don DeGroot just finds the perfect hole. Let's see if we have any others here. I think, does Bill Hull give us anything? Yep. Clipped in that. About Ryan Broderick. That's in the aftermath of that. And poor Robbie Bice, your pole sitter, also involved. What can you say, man? A trash heap. So as of right now, we've got 16 drivers still on the racetrack. I think everybody is good to go now on field the rest of the way. Had some drivers top off from George Wood down to David Salter. So reset the field as we come back to green. Ryan Chapman and Don DeGroot, row number 1. Briggs Swope, who recovered from being a lap down to gain the free pass, and Zach Hinson, row 2. Mark Sikosi, Kyle Milliken, row 3. Brian Wiggins, Kyle Holden, row 4. George Wood and Tom Pera round out the top 10. A lot of drivers out of the race after that. Let's name them for you. Alan Crowell already out. Chris Lynn, Jaden Bingaman, from that second crash. Jeremy Zarfos, Josh Aaron, Houston Stevenson, Bill Hull, David Courier, Ryan Broderick, Landon Lacey, Steve Stripmatter, and Robbie Bice, all out of the Daytona 300. Back to green. 26 laps to go. We'll see if the drivers have learned their lesson and see if they stay a little bit more patient. Ryan Chapman, the issue is right now he is without Justin Dills. That was the teammate he had been working with the entire race. Hearing from a couple of drivers after it, but I don't think we really have too much for you right now. But look at Don DeGroot on the outside, staying in touch with Ryan Chapman. Pace laps at speeds of 190 miles an hour off the corner. See who leads at the start-finish line. I think it's Don DeGroot right here. And it is. That's the 16th lead change as he cuts down in front of Ryan Chapman unofficially. This is a pack of 11 drivers that likely have a chance to win the Daytona 300. First three, oh, we got one in the wall, and we got trouble again. Brian Wiggins and Tom Pera. Everybody scatters, yellow flag is out. See what happened here. This is going to be interesting, but a tough break for Tom Pera and also your stage 1 winner in Brian Wiggins. It's starting to get crazy here, folks. Don't know if there's a full moon out there in real life. See here, who lost it? Oh, Wiggins, I think he touched the apron and comes up into Pera. Head on. That's a big lick. Just Lawson just came up. Maybe we can look from our drone shot and give us a better perspective. Yep, just that one apron touch. Oh, you know what? Pera came down. Pera came down and all of that. So let's ride on board with Pera. This will definitely tell us the tale here. And you know what? That could be a racing deal. Pera completely came down, but Wiggins came up just a little bit. And here's Wiggy. You can see here he just came up from the, if you watch the rear view mirror closely, you could have seen it. So step aside here once again with 23 laps to go. Don DeGroot is the race leader. We will take you to the finish of the Daytona 300 coming on up in just a moment. come at the right time. Coming to 21 to go for this restart in the Daytona 300. Don't forget to tune in next week as we head to Rockingham, which should be also a great race. That is the Randy Lynn 200. Start time at 8:45 p.m. 21 laps to go, and here's what we know. 14 drivers are currently on the lead lap as we speak. And a lot of drivers are out of the race after the last 2 caution flags. Last yellow involved Brian Wiggins and Tom Para. Para, from what we know, is out of the race. Wiggins is still on track with damage. Ryan Chapman and Don DeGroot make up the front row. With DeGroot the leader, he selects the inside. In row number 2 is Briggs Swope and Zach Hinson. Row 3, Mark Sikosi and Kyle Milliken. Row 4 is Kyle Holden and George Wood. Row number 5 is Stan Mayberry and Justin Dilt. Row 6 is David Salter and Jimmy Barr. Brian Wiggins is the free pass from what we know of, I think, and will restart from the tail in 13th, but has a lot of damage. There will be 21 laps to go in the Daytona 300. How will this play out? Will we see one more caution? Will the race go to overtime? Do they go green to the end? And who's it going to be? About to find out. DeGroot is ready to fire in the Speed Demon restart zone. Green lights are back on. Low line got the great jump and all of that. You see Briggs Swope make his way up into second position. Ryan Chapman on the high side with no help. Zach Hinson can't get the push going well. Allows Sikosi and Holden to go up to 3rd and 4th spot. Chapman gets away to cut back down low. He's in 5th. Kyle Milliken gets the run in 6th as Zach Hinson is the odd man out along with George Wood. Justin Dilt, after being involved in the last yellow despite front-end damage, is still in this race in 7th position, and you know him and Chapman are going to work together without question. 13 drivers still on the lead lap with 20 laps to go. All the drivers on the inside line, nobody taking a risk up top shelf. Amongst the leaders, you've got 11 drivers in this pack. Another driver you see in this is Chris Lynn. However, though, he's numerous laps now. But remember, he could play a factor in this race. Other drivers you see up in this pack, again, we mentioned Zach Hinson still up there as Lynn goes up to the outside, but I think he just wants to let the leaders go by and let them race amongst themselves. See some drivers thinking about going up to the outside. Ryan Chapman playing a risk, but for the race lead, Mark Sikosi is coming. Highest he's been so far in this race. First time he is in the race lead. The big push from Kyle Holden would be the 17th lead change of the Daytona 300. DeGroot and Swope, the odd men out in all of this. You've got Chapman 3rd, Milliken 4th. Dilt's looking for 5th as they come to 18 laps to go in the Great American Race. Chapman looking down low, Milliken and Dilt's pushing. Holden and Sikosi slam the door shut. Remember, our teammates at the moment. Kyle Holden, also a part of the Elevated Motorsports camp. Him and Sikosi on the same radio. Chapman in 3rd, Milliken is 4th, with Dilt's 5th on the Affordable SEO camp. All working together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all Dodgers. Trying to put a gap up on Briggs Swope in 6th. He's the first guy not out of the Affordable SEO camp, and he's got some company from a lap car. Chris Lynn could be a big factor in this. 6 17 laps to go. We're taking you to the finish without any more commercials. Working on a lap car, that's Courier. We'll go 8 and 7 laps down. They tuck just in front. You know with what's going to happen, that 12 car is going to go to the inside if Swope and Lynn go up top. Oh, they get forced down low. Urge the way back up. That almost got too close for caution. Lynn falls all the way back, and Hinson and DeGroot get slowed up because of it. They fall out of the lead draft. Same with David Salter and the 03. Houston Stevenson is the first car on track. That's 2 laps down, so he'll need 2 cautions to get back into this race. But he likely won't be a factor for the win with all the damage he's got. So Mark Sikosi, Duo 1 winner. The last winner in a points race at the Super Speedway at Talladega. Remember, he won it on a last lap pass on Kyle Milliken. From what we have learned in these races this season, with the next gen on plate races, you want to be second. You do not want to be first. However, when Dave in duo number 2, David Smeal was second. High side starting to develop. DeGroot, Lynn, and Swope are back in it. 15 to go. And they got to run. On board with the DeWalt 61. 186 and 1. Let's see if they do any bug drafting off of turn 2. That's the question. Lynn's going to have to get up to Swope. And they'll have to side draft as well. You see one off of Milliken. That allows the top 3 to pull away. Can't get the bump draft to work into 3. They work on the lap car of Brian Wiggins off the pace. So now Brian Wiggins is the first car a lap down. Remember, he was the free pass last time by. There goes Chapman up to the outside, and he cuts the air off of Swope. Nice move to do that. Put Swope all the way back to 5th with a Chevy driver. Still working on Milliken. Here's what Diltz is seeing. As he tries to push Milliken, his teammate, as well as Chapman, the car in front of Milliken. They've got to run once again. 13 to go in the Daytona 300. Swope and DeGroot trying everything they can do. It's them versus Affordable SEO / Elevated Motorsports. They do have a lap car ahead, which is the 26 of Jaden Bingaman. Oh, look at that big run. Look at that big run. If I'm Swope, I'm tucking down in. Trying to tuck down in. Break Swope. Now cuts off Chapman and is up in the 3rd spot. Now what do you do with DeGroot and Lynn? This is a weird situation for the 57 at this moment. Because if he goes high, everybody else is going down to the bottom. See what happens. Now if they stay single file, and Swope goes to the outside, and there you see it right there. Everybody down to the bottom of the racetrack, but he's making a run for 2nd spot. But the corners are where the low side excels big time. Big side draft. Oh, my! Holden got a little bit squirrely there from that side draft. I think that's what Briggs Swope wanted big time. Lynn tries to get the push. Swope looking for 2nd. Now Sikosi has a 2-car length lead, gets cut down to 1. That was a great try from Briggs Swope. I don't blame him for doing that. That was a great try for sure. Still trying to side draft, though, off of Milliken, and now has to fall back to 6th spot. He tried really well there in that situation. He wanted to get up to the point. But now it is top 5 again. Affordable SEO/elevated. They work on Ryan Broderick. They know they got to get to the outside. Broderick was staying down on the bottom of the racetrack. 25 miles remain in the Daytona 300. Who is it going to come down to? The top 5, you know they're going to work together until the final lap. When we came to the end of duel number 1, Milliken, Sikosi, and Wiggins worked together and then went 3 wide like Colic Racing did at the end of the 250-mile race in the summer last year in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Perhaps we could see that happen once again. The man that is one of the admins of the National Sim Racing League. 1 at Talladega, 1 in a short track last year as well at Myrtle Beach. He's got 2 rookies behind him in Kyle Holden and Ryan Chapman. Kyle Milliken nearly won at Talladega last season. Justin Delt's yet to win in the National Sim Racing League. Could his time come? Briggs Swope had a podium last year in the top 5. Could his time come as well? Don DeGroot finished in 2nd last year at Kansas. Who expected him to be running up front of the super speedway? 7 cars right now have a chance to win this race. That's Lynn that pulls up to the outside in the 84, running in 16th spot. Looking very possible. Pardon me, I shouldn't say very possible. He's currently running in 16th. All drivers that are ahead of him that are a lap down or more are still on track. 8 to go. I'm going to play it safe for right now. Keep it single file on the low line and then make your move with the white flag. But now the question is, when do you make your move? Sikosi made his move to win his duel off of turn number 4. But remember, he was in 2nd. He could be a sitting duck at the white flag. That's the situation that he is in. Alan Crowell pulls out of the way to let the leaders go by. Seven laps to go. Obviously, a yellow would change everything. If a yellow does come out, the drivers that pitted on lap 83 would be in trouble. There you see the leaders and their stint length at the moment. The pit stop lap. If they're pitted on lap 83, they're good to go to the end. Pardon me, I should reverse that. They're not good to go to the end. The drivers that don't have numbers are good to go to the end. If they pit on lap 83, it's going to be close. They'll likely have to make one more stop. You don't want the yellow to come out with 2 laps to go. That would be big. You see some of the leaders trying to test their fade-back skills. Ryan Chapman, for example, put his delta to Kyle Holden at about 3 car lengths or so as he tries to make his way up. You see as well the 6th place car, that turquoise car in Briggs Swope gets a run with help from Don DeGroot up to 5th, looks for 4th on Milliken. They got a big help, Chris Lynn, but once again, it is 5 on 3, 3 with the asterisks because of Chris Lynn. 5 fingers from Barney the Flagman. 5 laps to go in the Daytona 300. What has turned out to be an excellent race, from conservative to aggressive double file racing, has now turned into team versus team. I don't really want to say team on team number 2 in DeGroot and Swope, because they're not really teammates, but at this point now, They are teammates. And you see DeGroot giving the bump draft into turn 3. Trying everything. At this point from now on in this race, it doesn't even matter what your engine or what your engine temps are. If you blow it up coming to the white flag, you had a chance at winning it, that's for sure. 10 miles remain. And as of right now, your friends are right likely where you find them. Once again, it is turned into a 7-car shootout to win the Daytona 300. Top 2 single file. You've got Swope looking for third on Chapman. There's a bump draft from Kyle Holden down the super stretch. 2 cars are ahead. That will be interesting. Swope once again trying to side draft. Oh, that got tight. Holden and Chapman get together. Now that helps out Swope and DeGroot. They're up to second and third. The traffic affects the drivers in third through sixth. And now Swope to the inside of Sikosi for the race lead. What a pass from the race leader. It played out perfectly in Briggs Swope's hands. But now it turns into Briggs Swope versus Don DeGroot. Real quick, here's the pass. Slingshot engaged to the inside, and DeGroot went with him, leaving Sikosi a sitting duck. 18th lead change of this race. What turned into an affordable elevated top 5 has turned into a Swope DeGroot top 2. But they're all working together with 2 laps to go. It's Chris Lynn, Don DeGroot, Briggs Swope on the bottom. Everybody else up top. And you know they're going to side draft as much as they can. They can't get the run off turn 2. But this time Holden gets a run. Do they block on the top side? They're not going to. Sikosi, big bump draft to Kyle Holden. Oh boy, big block from Swope to cut things off. And now goes down low with DeGroot. Double file racing as we come to the white flag. 1 lap to go with the world center of racing. Kyle Holden trying to get the lead back from Briggs Swope. He's got it at the line. We're on the final lap. Swope almost gets shuffled out from Don DeGroot. Kyle Holden to the race lead. Mark Sikosi in second. That's the place he was in duo number 1 and at Talladega. The rookie is out front off of turn 2 down the super stretch. Swope and DeGroot are back to 6th and 7th. It's a top 5 affordable elevated once again. You got drivers fading back. When do you make the move if you're Sikosi? It's Holden a sitting duck. We got a big crash behind them. Swope on his lid. 3 cars, a chance to win the 300. But off of turn number 4, Kyle Holden out in front. Taking the 77. Sikosi to the outside. Kyle Holden takes the win in the Daytona 300. Photo finish, the 77 to victory lane. Top 3 affordable and elevated. A great finish to the end of it all. Kyle Holden is a Daytona 300 champion. And the man from Chicago has done it.
Not too bad.
My boy George with the top 10. Let's go.
Great race to the end. Let's see if we can find the wreck. Don DeGroot finished 4th. Chapman 5th, Dilt 6th. And Hinson finished in the 7th spot. Kyle Holden is about to light him up here at Daytona. Let's go to the white flag lap here. Show you how he did it. Got it to work on Swope and DeGroot, teaming up. They all work together. Up on the outside. We're going to see as well what caused that accident to break out. Chapman got out of the groove from a push from Milliken. Almost causes a big wreck there. Dilts gives a push to Milliken, and then they sacrifice each other at the back, leading to a 3-car battle. Swope got into Chapman, and then all hell broke loose. Upside down is the 57. He had a great night tonight, and then Milliken tried for the outside. The move was just a little bit too late. That close. Got up to the door. If he tries to make the move early, it's tough to say if he would have gotten the win. 19 lead changes, unofficial. Actually, we're going to get the result right now. And it's official. 19 lead changes in the Daytona 300. A fun race tonight. We're about to talk with your top 3 in here. Milliken normally, by the way, not really a talker. We didn't talk with him when he finished second at Talladega. So we'll talk here with our second place finisher here in Mark Sikosi. Mark, I guess I'll start with this move. I think we got him now. Mark, you copy?
I got you.
All right, let's. I'm gonna start off with this, man. How do you plan that move off of turn 4? Did you think you made the move a little bit too late?
Yeah, I knew I made it too late. I was so worried about getting the rest of my teammates clear on the high side there on that last lap that we really couldn't. I couldn't focus more on the timing of the run. I mean, as long as one of the affordable SEO cars won, I'm happy either way.
Talk about getting shuffled back there at the end of the race when Brig and Don took the lead from you guys, and you guys, of course, working together. Obviously, that's what we expected.
Yeah, I guess Brig and Kyle got together a little bit, stalled our line out, and they had a massive run. So there was no point in me trying to hold them guys up. They were going to go around regardless. So I was just waiting for a teammate or an affiliate car to come up there and give us some help.
Definitely a run to not be ashamed of. Who do you want to give shout-outs to tonight?
I got to give a shout-outs to all the guys on Ultra Motorsports, Elevated Motorsports, and, of course, my teammates at Affordable SCR Racing. Affordable SEO Racing. We got Hinson, we got Holden, and myself. Awesome run for our cars tonight. Can't say enough about these guys. I think we made a statement here in the first couple of weeks. We're definitely showing some speed.
All right, man. Well, we'll let you go. Congrats on a great run. Looking forward to the season.
Thanks, Marty.
Second place finish to Mark Sikosi. Now it's time to go to Victory Lane to talk with Kyle Holden. Kyle, you're a Daytona 300 champion. Can you believe it?
Honestly, no. It's kind of wild to me. This is my rookie season here at NSRL, and just to come home with the win there is pretty spectacular. We had a really good run throughout. We kind of got hit by that black flag, but it ended up working out in the end for us. A caution came out before we were going to get lapped, and everyone pitted and put us right up back in the 6th. So we had a really good run throughout the day. It was a great run for the affordable SEO racing car. And I'm just ecstatic right now. I can't even believe it.
Yeah, talk about recovering from that black flag and then the big one breaking out. And you're able to overtake all of those drivers that were involved.
Yeah, I thought it was over when we when we were coming out of pit lane there, I kind of stayed to the left a little bit because someone was on my right side. I knew they had to come down, and I was like, I don't want to go out just yet, but I knew I might get a black flag for it. But took the hit for it, and eventually it kind of just worked out and put us back on the lead lap, and we were able to drive home with the win there.
Yeah, walk us through the final lap as well. Just what are you thinking inside the car? I think without question we knew Sikosi was going to make a move based on duo number 1.
Yeah, we were working really well together, and then there was some weird place where we had to back off because one of the lap cars didn't go to the high side like we were expecting, and kind of threw everyone off. I went back a little bit farther, and me and Mark lost each other, and then they had that something happen where they up front where they wiggled up again, and it just gave me and Mark the run to just come flying through there.
Well, how are you going to celebrate this one tonight?
This one we're gonna be celebrating a long night. Unfortunately, we got work again tomorrow morning, but we're just gonna have some fun tonight. And just huge thanks to everybody up in the booth. You guys do a wonderful job. Huge thanks to Mark and the Affordable SEO team. Also to Justin Diltz and the Elevated Motorsports team, Ultra Motorsports, Kyle Milliken, all of them. They all do great work and just kind of put us in victory lane today.
Enjoy this one, man. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Kyle Holden taking the win in the Daytona 300. First start, first win. Greatest day of his NSRO career, that is for sure. You see the official results scrolling on your screen. Let's talk about the drivers in the race tonight as we pop them up here for you for the top 20. Do we have it? I think we do have it in the truck. Yeah, we do have it. It's just pulling up here right now. There we go. Holden taking the win, 16 thousandths of a second. A close finish there at the end. Closest finish in Daytona 300 history by far. You see as well, tough break for a couple of drivers in that finish at the end. Brake Swope, and I'm trying to find when it on to finish in 9th. Hinson and Salter were able to get by to finish in 7th and 8th. George Wood with a great top 10 after staying in the back for pretty much the entirety of this race. Tough break for a couple of drivers that were involved in wrecks. Houston Stevenson had a great run until the end of stage number 2. Robbie Bice, of course, starting from pole position. Going throughout the rest of the field here. That big one took out a lot of great drivers there, that's for sure. Tyler Isley, the first spin of the race, we should say. Let's see here, Landon Lacey, Steve Stripmatter, Jeremy Zarfos. I think that was the car that went upside down in the second big one. And then the yellow end stage number 2. Brennan Poole and Ashton Crowder, who were probably the favorites to win the Daytona 300, get caught up in the wreck with the driver of the number 11. So next week, the National Sim Racing League goes to Rockingham for the Randy Lynn 200, 197 laps. Start time at 8:45 p.m. You can catch all the action on the NSRO family of networks, twitch.tv/Marty Sakala, the National Sim Racing League YouTube and Facebook pages. So that will do it for us on behalf of the National Sim Racing League. Our admins in charge in Mark Sikosi and Justin Diltz. Our race director is Kayla McCarthy. I'm Marty Sakala saying so long. Kyle Holden is the Daytona 300 champion. So long, everyone.